One of the biggest pain points for me, and honestly a limiting factor with Webflow, is the fact that I can't use slots in CMS collection template. Today, I want to demonstrate my app Beacon, which has a feature that allows me to do just that. So here I have a test website with just a handful of basic components, some images, header, CTA button, and I created kind of this test projects template collection. All right, so in this collection right now, I have these fields mapped to the CMS. So open up Beacon, open up CMS slots, and the first thing that you'll need to do is install. So I'm going to go ahead and click install, and it's going to run a bunch of tasks in the background to install this feature onto your collection. So now let's name our slot featured list, let's say. So it's doing a bunch of process there, and then now you can see we've got this featured list component that got dropped right there. The app is now telling me I need to click on CMS and just double check that that field got created here, because my app will need that. So I'm gonna go ahead and save changes. All right, so now we can link this to the CMS field. So the beauty of this is we're still storing all of that data in Webflow CMS, so we can come back and edit this easily. The next step here is we want to move where this slot is into the place where we want it to appear. I want to drop it into here up top in the grid. Once we have the slot placed to where we need it to be, the next step is to begin adding the components that the slot can accept. So I'm going to go ahead and click add, and for here, let's add a card. And after we add the card, we have the ability to select props that component exposes. So here I'm going to go ahead and select, I want the description, the image, and then maybe a link and the title. I'm going to go ahead and click tag. Now that we're done setting up that first component, I can add another one. So I'll add the CTA and link my props. So that's the setup process. So I'm going to go down here and click on Composer. And here in Composer, I can see that I'm inside of this collection entry called nonprofit. Any work that I do here will only apply to this collection entry. All of the slots that we create within Engine will display here. We've only made one featured list, so let's go into that. Then I can begin adding my content. So here I can select card. I want a card. And then if I open that up, I can get started and put some description here. Some description text here. And then for images right now, this part is a little bit manual, so that's not great, but it does work. So I'm just gonna grab a link of an asset from my folder. And then here in the link, we can either put in, an absolute external link, or we can grab a slug from my collections. So I'm just gonna do that. And then for the title, let's just say first card here, I guess. Hit done. We just add a couple more cards. Let's do like 3 cards there. Actually, let's just do 2 cards. And let's just do a second card. I don't know. And then just some description text can go there. So let's add a third component here. Maybe instead of a card, we'll do a CTA. Oops, there we go. For the CTA, we'll do like an external link. I don't know, google.com or something. Subscribe now. And then hit done. So we got card, the second card, and then CTA. We can easily sort and order these by dragging and dropping. Once we're done editing the component, I can go ahead and hit save. So now that that's saved to our layout, we can go and publish. Sweet, now that it's published, we can go ahead and preview this, and there we go. So now we see our first card, the second card, and our CTA component here. And if we navigate to another entry within the collection of project, what you'll see is we just get the defaults of the component that we loaded in. So if we wanted to, change the components default behavior, we can just go down here in beacons list and select the component and, change this stuff here. So we can do this compact variant, and, we can even remove the title here. We can link this image. So this is essentially our fallbacks. And I can go ahead and publish. So we changed up our fallbacks. Now anything that doesn't have content in there is able to display correctly. As far as the layout goes, the layout is being inherited by whatever the layout structure is of the slot's parent. So here I have it within grid, and in my grid I just have like a 3x2 grid going on here. I can now open up this editable slot here and go into another entry in my collection, and you'll see we're now inside of corporate here. And I could do the same thing here, and maybe for this one we'll just have one card for some reason. Just drop that in there, and then open up and grab an image link. And then for our link here, maybe we'll just do google.com or something, and then we'll just do card. Okay, so here let's just do one. Hit save, then I can publish, go into here, refresh, and now if I go into this corporate one, we see just our individual card that takes us to Google for some reason. So that's CMS Slots. It's one of many powerful features in Beacon. It's a new app I'm building to give Webflow teams the structure and safeguards to keep growing sites fast, consistent, and under control. You can sign up for an early access preview today at codalin.app. Thanks for watching. See ya.